Welcome back to Briggs on Books. We're meeting authors today from all over the world and hearing about their books, their process, about the impact they're making on the public. And we're going to tell you how to order these authors' books. Our next guest is Emma Wells, author Emma Wells. And the title of the book is Unseen Victims. Welcome, Emma.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's lovely. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Tell us where you are.
So I'm based obviously in England. I live in South Lakes in Cumbria, beautiful area of the world. It's an amazing place.
What time is it there right now? What time?
8:30.
8:30 p.m. Okay, well, thanks for hanging with us. Now, is there a little dog?
Almost bedtime.
Is there a little doggy in the scene there?
Yeah, that's Annie.
Okay. Now, the book Unseen Victims, what's the full title? There's another part of the title, isn't there?
No, that's the full title. I wrote the book, and then on the back of the book, I realised that I could expand on the book's content, so I created a social enterprise. In England, we call them a social. It's a community interest company, and that's what I've created to try and get the word out to as many people as possible. But no, the book is just called Unseen Victims. Okay.
Now, but it's for people who are literally unseen victims.
Yeah, I want to make this point very, very clear right from the very start. Nothing and nobody and not one person I've ever met in the almost a decade of supporting these people is trying to take anything away from the true victims of any criminality.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to be is a spokesperson for the people who are left behind to pick up the pieces of another's criminality. And they don't get recognised, they're dismissed, and dreadful things happen overnight to these people.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm trying to do is to foster some empathy for these people and some encouragement for them. Now,
who should read this book?
Absolutely everybody. I'm gonna say to you now, right? This is a terrible thing, and I've said this to everybody, whoever approaches me with a little confusion about where I'm coming from. You could be driving home tonight. Absent-mindedly, you go 10 miles over the speed limit, and somebody walks out in front of you, and sadly they die. You will have police involvement. You may not go to prison. You most likely will, but you may not go. But you will have police involvement. Does your partner know, or your loved one, or your daughter, or anybody, any person who loves you, do they know how to deal with those situations? The hurdles and challenges.
Yeah, and I guess if you hit someone with your car, they're a victim. But there's other victims.
Yeah, a massive pool of victims. It's a ripple effect that goes through the whole of families. It's devastating.
It's devastating for a lot of people, yeah. We just had just across the street yesterday, a person was drunk and they turned the corner and ran over two homeless people, killing one.
Awful.
And
dreadful.
I didn't know them, I didn't know the driver, but still, it affected me as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's the Unseen Victims. And is this book intended to help people?
So the project's been developed. Obviously, we've got a website now. We've got web chat. We've got safe social media spaces, which is very important at this moment in time. Is safe social media. We've got telephone advisory service, and the purpose of it is to encourage people to be proactive, not reactive, on these prison journeys, because they're going to happen. You can pretend it's not happening all day long, but things are going to happen and you're not going to be ready for them. If you read about other people's lived and learned experiences, then you're prepared. In the book, I mean, my journey was extraordinary. Some dreadful things and some wonderful things happened. But if you read somebody else's worst experience, something that happens to you may not seem as bad. It's there to reduce anxiety. And in the UK at the moment, there is nothing quite like this project. Okay. When people are reaching out, they're already in a crisis, and we need to get beyond that.
Right.
We need to move beyond the crisis effect and have people, like the pressure that's put on the prisons and the pressure that's put on the police, and everybody involved in facilitating a person's journey through this criminal justice system. It's a knock-on effect. Let's take some of that away, and through lived and learned experiences, encourage these people to, learn before it happens.
Yes. Right, because it's going to happen. It's going to come. Now, your project now has gone way beyond the book. You have a website, and we have it on the screen, unseenvictims.org.uk. Tell us about, what are people going to find at the website?
It's the most inclusive. The content on there is way beyond anybody else who's offered support in the UK. There's stories on there. I mean, in the book, there's actually a collection of 13 stories from people who submitted their own and allowed me to use them. But you're learning from people's experiences, and there's also there's information on there about how to book a visit.
Right.
Would you know how to book a prison visit? Would you know? No.
Nope. Wouldn't even know where to start.
Would you know when to expect the first phone call? Would you know what to pack in a bag when you go into court on the last day? You just wouldn't know these things.
Right.
So it's compressed in the book, but it's expanded on the website, so people can go on there, have a quick Google, see what I'm saying, and they'll be prepared way before that eventuality comes about.
It sounds like this book, like you said, everybody should read it. It'd be a good gift. You guys want to spread some info or get this book, give it away. I always have to go, to parties and people's houses. I always like to take a gift. I feel like this might be the thing to take.
It's an unusual gift to give to somebody, I'm sure. But I mean, in the book as well, there's also information from people who are learned, and they've got there's Dr. Michael Norton, because it explores false allegations, and Dr. Michael Norton is a reading sociology and law at Bristol University. He gave us some content, and there's content from an organisation called Fact. And all of these things, people will never have any idea that this is going on in the background. Yeah. And unless you read it, it's jaw-dropping at times. The book is absolutely jaw-dropping because, as I said, some of the experiences that I had were extraordinary. Yeah,
if you've not been through it, you probably just a little you told us about now, I'm kind of surprised by. Now, where can they get the book? And I would guess it's on Amazon.
It is on Amazon, but I'm having an issue at the minute. I don't know what's happened. There's like a glitch. So if you are interested in buying the book, don't go to Amazon and try and put it Unseen Victims in. Please Google Emma Wells Unseen Victims, and it'll take you to the link. I don't know what's gone wrong there. I've done a couple of amendments recently, and that's something that I've obviously comforted with.
Interesting thing about Amazon, you just can't pick up the phone and call and straighten out a problem. But can they order it from your website?
Yes, you can order it through the website, yes. Okay. Yeah. And obviously any email inquiries can go through the website. They'll come directly to me.
Yeah. Now, by the way, you said there's 13 people wrote their stories down?
Yeah.
And can you tell us maybe one of them?
These are personal accounts. Probably one of the most harrowing things that I ever supported somebody with was a young woman who approached me, and her partner had just been sent to prison. She was heavily pregnant. We conversed for a couple of days, and then I heard nothing more. And then late one evening, she rang me and she said that she'd given birth to a stillborn. She was very lucky to survive with her life, very, very lucky to survive. Anyway, he had not been in prison very long. It was a crime that would normally not allow release on temporary licence. But between me and her, over the next day, we got onto the prison, and he was afforded the time to come to the hospital and spend time with his baby. Yeah. This is it's evidence of a person in crisis. Right. Because I was already in a relationship with her, we already had established some level of friendship. She felt confident to come to me. At this moment in time, there's nothing like that in the UK. Yeah. People are picking up the phone, reacting to an awful situation, and we need to get beyond that. Right. We need to get beyond that. Yeah.
Emma, they only gave us about 10 minutes here, and you've inspired me. I mean, I am going to read this book because it's a fascinating subject.
Thank you.
And I've never even thought of this. This never came into my mind, but you're raising...
Give me a review on Amazon.
I will do that. But you're raising things that people don't think about or probably have not thought about. So.
No, but it can happen at any time. Nobody is above and beyond being caught up in these. Yeah.
We just have a few minutes left. Any last thoughts? Anything you want our viewers to know about you or the book?
Just obviously, I want to reiterate that the last thing I would ever want anybody to think is that we're trying to take away from the true victims and make the unseen victims something out to be something that they aren't. You've got to name it. I mean, overnight, a person who's sent to prison, the person who's left behind to pick up the pieces, has a compromised income. That's 50% of their income, regardless of benefits or a wage earner, is gone. Yeah. In the UK, these inmates are dispersed around the UK. There could be hundreds of miles that these people are having to travel, and they're having to pay it out of their own pockets. They've got families. Right. It's an awful lot of money. So the aim of the project is to provide funding for this, because there is, you can claim funds in the UK.
Right.
You have to be on certain benefits, and you have to have lived with the person beforehand. You know, there's so many rules and regulations that, you know, we're living in a cost of living crisis in the
Yes,
UK.
absolutely, yeah.
And at this moment in time, there's 95 people currently residing in UK prisons, and by 2027, that's expected to soar to over 107. That's an additional 20,000 people who are going to be needing this support. And, you know, I'm here.
That's great.
Come to me.
You're a good resource, and appreciate the website and the book, and author Emma Wells. By the way, here's the cover again, the cover, Unseen Victims, and you got the website on the screen, and thank you so much for your time, Emma.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more authors right after this.
Take care.